was about living in the moment or creating your own moment. All I ever asked for was the opportunity, and once I got the opportunity, making the most of it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. I'm your host, Sam Dark, and here with me, Auto Group Director of Talent Development, Mike Van Ryn. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. Ben, hello and welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Appreciate having you. It's such an honor to have you here. So it's interesting. This is the podcast, and we're here talking with Ben Wallace in preparation for the Drive for Life charity event. And Ben, it's an absolute honor to have you here. As I did my research, Ben, I realized something. You and I nearly share a birth date. We are the same age, separated by 2 months. I'm 2 months younger than you. So 1974 is a good year, right?
Absolutely.
So, hey, Ben, what an extraordinary journey you've had growing up in Alabama in a family of 11, playing in community college, being undrafted, then playing overseas, and then the success, 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time NBA All-Star, more blocks than personal fouls, only player with more steals than turnovers, so on and so forth. What's it like now at this point, at this moment in your career, to be going into the Basketball Hall of Fame?
It's a surreal moment. You know, like you say, you even talked about the journey. For me, it was about living in the moment or creating your own moment. All I ever asked for was the opportunity. And once I got the opportunity, making the most of it. So, going into the Hall of Fame is something you really can't prepare for. There's no practice, there's no games or nothing. You basically just get judged by your peers. So to be selected as a Hall of Famer is definitely a great honor.
And it's awesome to be at that point where you've achieved that. There was a quote by you, Ben, in an interview you did going into the Hall of Fame. You said, "Was I in love with the journey? Was I in love with the game? Or was I in love with the struggle?" And I thought, Ben, that was a beautiful quote. Which is it for you and why?
The journey, led me to the game. The game led me out of the struggle. But I said, in order for me to be successful at the game, I had to be in love with the struggle in order to survive in life. Tell the story that my mom put me on my life journey. You had to be in love with the struggle, in order to succeed. And that was one of the things that she taught me. No matter how difficult life gets, she always told me that her doors was open, that I could always come home. So that made me fall in love with the struggle, knowing that I had, a life support. I had somebody that was backing me, and I had somebody that was going to support me, through whatever I decided to do. So being in love with the struggle, to me, was the only key to success.
That's awesome. You embraced the struggle. And I think a lot of our business leaders can relate to that, right? You talk about your mom as being a motivator. And I also have heard you say, Ben, that your mom wouldn't attend a basketball game until you made the NBA. Tell us about that. I'm fascinated by that.
I mean, my mom, she always supported me in everything that I did, everything that I wanted to do. She always encouraged me to do more. She put me on my life path. But I know some of the things she wanted for me was different than some of the things that I wanted. But, she never attended any type of sporting event that I participated in until I made it to the NBA. It was one of those things where people would tell her that she needed to come see me, that I was pretty good in, high school and college or whatever. She would always send my brothers. She never attended a game. One of those, she always said, if he's that good, see him on TV or something, I when he make it. She never really cared about me playing sports. She always wanted to make sure, I was good as a person.
And that seemed to motivate you, right? She knew that button to push or how to motivate you. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. You know how to motivate me through, any and everything. No matter what I did or what I wanted to do, she always encouraged me not to give up. You can do it. Try. Maybe you got to try a little harder, but anything is possible. She always motivates.
So, Ben, you've made a choice. It's interesting. You could do anything after this big night on September 11th, after your induction into the Hall of Fame. And your decision is 5 short days after your induction to travel to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and join what will be possibly the largest charity gala in Michigan since COVID, an event in its 40th year that will generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. We actually anticipate a record haul supporting American Cancer Society, MRC Industries, Make-A-Wish, and other charities. Talk to us about what went into that decision-making for you and what it says. What's that statement?
I mean, it speaks on, my character, where I am. I was raised. This is a great event. It's for a great cause. I think it's time to bring a little more awareness to cancer because everybody in our community, family, friends, or whatever, everybody been affected affected by this disease. And I think it's important for me to use my platform to bring awareness to it, to let people know that it's time to go to war and go to battle against this disease, because it has affected each and every last one of us. Our families, we all know somebody, or we all close to somebody that's been affected by cancer. It's time to fight disease.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely true. And on behalf of everyone who will be with you that night, we all say thank you. And we know that your affiliation with this event is going to have a huge impact. One of the other things that really connected with us is your view and vision of teamwork. So the year you won the 2004 NBA Finals, I was a much younger kid watching. And my team, the place I lived in that moment, happened to be Utah. And we were pretty critical of one of our players, our star player, who decided to go join the Lakers because he was bought by them, right? And the Lakers proved in that year that you cannot buy an NBA final. You cannot buy an NBA championship. Give us your thoughts on the series of games which you won in 5 and that idea behind it being about teamwork and you can't buy a championship.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great season for us from start to end. We went through the ups and downs and the struggles of the season. We had good runs, we had bad runs. And to make it to the final, like you said, you can't buy a championship. You can put all the best players in the world together on one team. And if the chemistry that is not there, it won't work. Sometimes you get lucky and you put together a team full of stars and the chemistry works. And it works out for you, but the chemistry don't work, you're not going to win a championship. I thought we did it the right way. We went through the struggles. We went through getting eliminated in Eastern Conference Finals a couple years in a row, but we kept the team together and we stayed together. And like I said, we went through that struggle together. So once we came out of it, I just feel like that team couldn't be beaten. Definitely one of the best teams ever assembled as far as the way we played the game and the way we gelled together, the type of chemistry that we had. So I say chemistry on that team and that brotherhood on that team rival any chemistry or any brotherhood of any sort that I've ever been a part of. With those guys by my side and the way we played, it was just going to be hard for any team to beat us.
As a lesson in leadership, how do you duplicate that in a business or in relationship? How do you duplicate that sense of camaraderie and teamwork among a team?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough because all the elements was there for that team. At one point in time, we was all giving up on in our career. All my life, I've been told that I couldn't, that I was too small, or I can't do this well enough, I can't do that well enough. Chauncey came into the league with humble beginnings. Rip been traded from Washington to Detroit. Tayshaun coming in and basically having to set the entire first year, a humbling experience. Then to acquire Rashid, was traded from Washington when I was coming into Washington. So then to be traded from Portland, then to traded again from Atlanta within less than 30 days.
Yeah.
Very humbling experience. And to all land in the same spot at the same time, like I said, the chemistry was there. We was all out to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I think, by the end of that season, we definitely proved our point to the world.
Yeah. And one of my favorite quotes you said, it's your commitment to win rather than compete. You said, I never felt the pressure of scoring or not scoring. My only pressure that year was to win. And that was the only number that mattered to me. Tell us about that thought, because that's selfless.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talk about the numbers and goal and output and plus and minus and all of that. None of that stuff really ever mattered to me. The only thing that mattered to me was winning. You land in certain spots where coaches just want to coach, players just want to play, scorers want to score, rebound want to rebound, and none of that means anything to me unless you win it. Winning is the only thing that's important at the end of the night for me, because what I'm based on, my game is not designed to look pretty. My game is designed to go out and get wins.
It's awesome. You're not there to just compete. You are there to win. That is beautiful. So every great team has a great leader. You acknowledge your mom as being your family leader, motivator. She brought you to the point where you are today. Another leader that you've acknowledged in your life is Coach Larry Brown. Talk to us a little bit about him, particularly the quote where you said practices were 10 times harder than the game. And I think that's not the case all the way across the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, Larry Brown came in and he fit the mold. He just fit the mold. He came in right away and he inserted himself within the circle, as a team that went to the Eastern Conference Final. Any coach that comes in, another coach leaves, that type of success, he's going to be tested, going to be looked upon like, yo, we really don't need you to help us get to this spot or that spot. We just need to know that you can be consistent. But, Larry Brown came in. It wasn't that we didn't need him to get us back to the Eastern Conference Final. It was the fact that we needed that type of presence within the locker room, within the organization, period. And he came in and he inserted himself into the circle. He wasn't going going to sit around and try to figure everybody out. He came in and he basically imposed his will on the team. And for that, he forever gained my respect because we was a defensive-minded team, that was all about team, and we was locked into our ways. But when he came in and fit the mold, and it was already a pretty good team, he determined and decided he wanted us to be great. So he took us to the next level. Appreciate him for that because, he didn't just come in and just hold it in the role. He came in and restructured the whole team and made it work for him.
So in your post-play life, has he impacted the type of person you are and the way that you seek to engage and have an influence and impact in the world?
I would say that he was definitely the type of person that I didn't mind playing for as far as impacting the way that I approach everyday life. I think my mom did a great job of making me, a solid, human being. So the way I approach everyday life, the way I am in society, to give that credit to my mom for impacting my life. I just figured out I took my life journey. It wasn't really there for anybody to change me or impact me. I was basically there for you not to mess it up.
Is your mom still with us to meet? What a great person to meet her one day. Yes?
No, actually,
she's not.
My mom passed in 2003.
Condolences. Oh, really? What did that mean to you? How did that play into that win? I didn't know that. I apologize.
I mean, it was tough. I buried my mom the day before I played my first NBA All-Star game. Then the following, we won the NBA championship. So tough time, man. It was tough.
Did that have some special meaning to you, winning that championship after her passing? And was there a connection with her somehow in that game win?
Yeah, I think that whole was just a different moment. One of those surreal years. I don't necessarily think I had my best individual year that year. I think I definitely had my best team moment. Our team concept was what really stands out to me in that year. I think, maybe a couple years or prior, I might have had my best years as far as numbers and stats. But that year, it was just all about the team. We just wanted to do things as a team. And it was, just tough to beat. So that year was special, especially after losing my mom.
We appreciate hearing just a little bit about your life story. Man, it has just been a bucket list item to be able to talk with you here today. Ben, thank you for being here with us. Any final comments, Ben Wallace?
No, just thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck and congratulations. Thank you.